Yeah. It's when we are fortunate to have the esteemed presence of Dr. Ms. Ganachari. Dean, KLE, Education.
Mai ula ek tama.
Good afternoon, Ganachari, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, sir. All good, sir. Within 3 minutes, we'll start, sir.
No issues. No issues. No issues.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely no problem.
Please.
Good afternoon, children. Ganachari sir, you're connected?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Beta. Good afternoon. Ganachari sir, are you connected? Shall we start?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. So children, today we have with us Dr. M.S. Ganachari sir. He is the Dean of KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research, our university, and also the Deputy Registrar, apart from that, clinical pharmacologist. Now, Dean being, he is the faculty dean. We have 3 institutes of pharmacy under KHER, our university, and sir regulates the entire pharmacy concerns to the university and see that the best outcome comes. So obviously with his interest, with his passion, he has risen to this level, and we all respect his presence because any issue pertaining to pharmacy, sir is always there. And of course, clinical pharmacologist, one of the top clinical pharmacologists in the country. And he has set up a pharmacy practice department, which people from even from abroad come and watch and see. The way he has done the documentation, the way he has set up the things for gaining, there is Jan Aushadhi store, anything you name, Ganachari sir's department needs to be praised. A lot of good learning from you, sir. And we are really fortunate to have a wonderful administrator, a teacher, a researcher, and above all, a wonderful human being. So my children, please applaud the presence of Dr. M.S. Ganachari, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your very kind words. At the outset, I would like to start. Before that, I would like to congratulate Dr. Ramandang, sir, principal of a very prestigious college in Bangalore. And students, you all are lucky to have such a very dynamic principal, where he started chartering this concept of orientation and tried to bring up the students saying that what should be their future, what should be the thought. And last 2 days, couple of days, they have started orienting the students. I really appreciate about the sir's vision and dream, what you want to bring up the next generation pharmacist. And you all know that he told a lot of good word about me, but I don't know how many of you know that sir is one of the leading pharmacists in the entire country. It's not like just patting your back or my back, sir. Really appreciate your concern about not only your college, entire pharmacy institution as a teachers or APT or anything else. I appreciate. And students under your leadership, particularly at our Bangalore campus, should do a lot of wonders and bring to the newer heights with your efforts and all those things. I thank you and appreciate for giving me an opportunity to talk on a very unique concept, to try to bring up this concept and visualize the students' vision into these things. I'm sure it is an appropriate in this time of online classes and all those things. I thank you entire faculties of KLE College of Pharmacy at Bengaluru and all the students who have joined in. I can see around 76 students have joined in. I formally welcome you for KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research, which is one of the pioneer institution, and you might have heard in earlier orientation programs and all those things. With this brief welcome and all those things, I thank you, sir, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to talk to you. Thank you, and I think I should be able to start my session with your kind permission.
Please, sir. Please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. My slides are visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, students. I appreciate your enthusiasm and being active. Friends, I'll call you as a friends, not the students or anything else. Here today we'll be listening something different, something out of the box, or something more practical and all those things, right? My topic today is what we call as the practicing of this flipped classroom is a millennial choice. In my upcoming slides, we'll try to understand what do you mean by millennials, whom are we teaching, what group you all students, all 77 plus students belong to which category of these things, and how we can make the best use of this flipped classroom concept. Okay, and let us have a more interactive session as it is an orientation program. I appreciate, I'll just finish within 20 to 25 minutes. I'll give a lot of time for you to interact, ask the questions, share your experience. That should be one of the beautiful way of engaging this type of the flipped classroom. Okay, with this, of course, I don't have any disclaimer or anything else. This is purely from the open source what I'm sharing, and with some of my experience experimenting this flipped classroom with my own students and all those things. That is my basic disclaimer for my talk. Millennials choice. I use the word millennials choice, or the flipping your classrooms, where it reaches every student in every class and every day. I'm sure you are the lucky batch students is because you may have not undergone that what we can call as a pain of attending lots of online classes, because I presume they were completed in 10+2 in somewhere in March or something else. Followed by that, we had a lockdown and we were only crossing your fingers and waiting for various levels of results, admissions, and so on and so forth. I'm sure your junior batch may be experiencing day in and day out. They're sitting in front of the monitor, in front of a screen, listening, and listening, right? But now onwards, you'll be the part of that. Now you'll be listening a lot of classes online and all those things. Probably that is the reason your principal, Dr. Ramandang, has thought that how can you make this online understanding into more scientific way, in more professional way, so that it becomes win-win for my colleagues and the teachers as well as the students who are going to join to the classes online, until unless we get a regulatory requirements or approvals from maybe from MHRD, UGC, or own university to call back to our beautiful campus at Bangalore and start the classes physically as per the respective timetables. Right. This is the thing, like whenever we say that when you start talking the classes and all those things, nowadays a new generation of students, that's what we consider you all as a new generation students, and they say, sorry, but might not want to hear your lectures for an hours, because the students listening power or anything has a shrink from 1 hour to 45 minutes or less than 45 minutes. That is a whole the pedagogy, what we speak and all those things. Having said this, but who are our students? Next couple of slides, I'm going to tell that whole the generation or the demography of the whole country is divided into different categories. Okay, you just listen it. You not try to understand all those things, but which categories of students are classified since 1946 till date? Are classified as something called as the baby boomers. The students who are very much well versed with a lot of English series like Comedy Central and what other things are, they will be hearing such type of the words very commonly into those typical types of the English serials in the mass media communications or anything else. Right? Before understanding which class you belong or which category you belong, I'll just take to your journey to understand that why we are talking about all those things. The first category of the things were classified as a baby boomers, which were born between 1946 to 64. And I can tell it, even I not belong to this, then you can ascertain what could be my age. I don't mind, but the baby boomers were which were born before 1964. Right? Whatever their qualities and core values, their core values was to have they include optimism, team orientation, personal gratification, focus on health and wellness, think of personal growth and work and environment. That was the focus of the people who were born between 1946 to 64. Subsequently, that thing came called as a Generation X. Probably I belong to this group who were born between 1965 to 1977, where we all the core values of these people who are born between 65 to 77, that is a Generation X, where they got a core value included the diversity, started thinking globally, balance of techno-literacy, balance between technology and literacy. Probably our generation was there when we started talking about the having the color television, having the telephones, mobiles, and so on and so forth. We were the part of the saga of all those things, like having the techno-literacy. We had a lot of fun, professional fun, jumped from into the more and more about the informalities, self-reliances, and the pragmatisms. These are some of the qualities or core values of the people who are born between 1965 to 1977. Then came what we call as Generation Y, who are born between 1977 and through 2000. They grew up between the defined of 9/11 bombing of Oklahoma City, school shootings, a lot of violences, a lot of abuses, and all those things. Then they raised in the child-focused environment was raised. These are all the disturbed areas where been born between 1977 to 2000. Their group of students were called as the Generation Y groups. Later on, the core values of this the population was including optimism, civic duties, confidence, achievements, social ability, moralities, street smarts, diversities were the characters of the core values of the people who categorized as a Generation Y. The next generation was called as a Generation Z, right? That is the millennials. We are born in early 90s until present. I'm sure you all students belong to this Generation Z, or what we call as a millennials. That's the reason I thought that I'll give little history to understand that, friends, you all belong to millennial groups. So what was the core value of these millennial groups? The core value of these millennial groups was sense of social justice, philanthropy, maturity that comes with growing up in economically depressed times. There is a globally. But what are the characteristics of these millennials? They grew up with internets. I'm sure you also may be having starting internets in the primary schools or higher primary schools. Cell phones, iPads or iPods, and they get information fast and expect it quickly. They often are seen in the impatients are technically savvy. They're very savvy. When I say the word impatience, right, don't take it in the other way. When I say it is an impatience, right, like impatience means they want to do multitasking. I'm sure the students who are listening my talk, they may be already on the WhatsApp, they may be on the Instagram, they may be doing so many things. They have been having the multitasking. When this particular slide is not interested, they switch on to the next group. They keep on hurling in and around. That's the reason these groups have been we consider the impatience. But believe me, they're highly technically savvy. They're highly technical savvy. That becomes a rescue, that becomes an advantage for us in this COVID-19 crisis, to bring together, to impart all the education online as long as possible, or before we get back into the physical laboratories or physical classes or get into our own campuses. That's the reason I coined my title of my talk as the flipped classes are the millennial choices. Now the question, sir, I understood, okay, we belong to Generation Z, not Y or baby boomers or anything else. Now, what do you mean by flipped classrooms? Right? I'll just tell you what do you mean by the flipped classrooms, right? Here, another couple of things I want to add, like technology was not a barrier for the millennials, which they never lived without the technology. But many young teachers for ourselves were working in the college were struck with the past. And we all grow around with the computers, easier to adapt the constantly changing technologies and all those things. You might have heard in last, right from March 20th onwards till date, every teacher has transcribed themselves to become more and more technical savvy, and we went on adopting ourselves to the constantly changing technologies. But our students are the, as I said, the millennials. One side I said they are all impatient, but they're highly brainiest. Their best educated generation ever, according to the special report compiled by The Economist, is one of the popular magazine that is published globally. They say that these millennials are highly brainiest, or they got a lot of this one, and they're highly educated. But millennials also stand out because they have been more diverse and educated generation to date. Right? This is a specialty of the group. Whom are we going to handle in future? whom are we handling right now in our campuses, right? Because they're all born day before yesterday's, so or so it may be seems. All millennials have no memory without www, right? Or the cell phones or the personal computers, right? They've got internet surfing, iPodding, texting, Googling, Facebook, iMining. So many things have been exposed or they've been learned and all those things. Coming back to my sentence, no memory without World Wide Web or www. If I ask anything, one of my students who are attending, if I ask that something about anything else, they say, give 2 minutes, sir, I'll get back to you. Either they Google or they visit the website and they get all the informations. Means what? They may not have the memories. If you ask your parents, right? If you ask your senior people in your home, they tell a lot of anecdotes, a lot of stories and everything else. They tell. If you ask me also, I'll tell maybe 5 years down the line, I should remain at least 24 to 25, at least 2 to 3 dozens of phone numbers which be memorized by me. What has happened now? I don't know my own number, right? If you ask somebody, sir, what is your mobile number? I'll say, wait, I'll go and see my mobile. Forget about remembering my wife's number or anybody else. But what is the advantage? We not waste our energy in remembering all those things, because when everything is handy, why should we do all those things? But we should take the advantage of all those things, whether you use a cell phones, whether it's a www or whatever is there. As a student, we should take the advantage of all those things. I'm sure if you've got a brothers or sisters in your home, they may be undergoing this lot of online classes since March and all those things. You might have also undergone, I don't know to what extent you have undergone this online classes and all those things. One side, we want to reduce the screen timing, means sitting in front of a TV or mobile or a laptop or anything else. But other side, we want to encourage you to use the best side of all these technologies and all those things. For that purposes, probably your principal might thought that this class, my talk will be more and more advantageous. And our students, for many of them, the texting, instant messages have become the chosen method of communication. Perhaps most of all them have been plugged into one or another electronic devices since they are the toddlers, right? They are our students. We need to explore the ways of adopting classroom teaching or college classroom to reach them and teach them more effectively by combining technology as well as a student psychology, whatever they want. Ultimate, as a teacher, my mandate is to make you to train, to learn, and to make you a very competent pharmacist at the end of the day. And our students are there, as I said, it is a challenge for teaching a millennials. Effectively doesn't mean that we need to befriend them on the Facebook. I don't want to become you on the Facebook. I do not send a friend request and you do not send a friend request to me, or start a thread with a Twitter. I don't mean that, right? It does mean that we need to reevaluate how to we reach them and how to teach the students with the both inside and outside the classrooms are the biggest challenges with us, the generation, the millennials. What are we going to speak then, right? The traditional lecture mode of instruction may not be the dead. We continue the traditional medicine, but it does require retooling in this age of limited attention spans, increase emphasis on student engagement, and so on and so forth. So when you start coming for the colleges or anything else, this becomes a blended learning. We call it a blended learning. Online classes will not go away because of social distancing and all those things. We continue online classes, and we are going to have maintain something called as a blended learning. Probably 60% or now it will be 80% or 100% will be online. Subsequently, we can reduce to 80%, 60% online. Remaining will be the contact. So that is what we are aiming. And we want to bring all the students to the same platform to understand they don't get bored or don't get bugged up with the online classes, but you can take the best use of the online classes with the title or under the banner or on the title of what we call as a flipped classroom. We should have to use the technology to enhance good teaching and learning. There's no replacement of the good teaching. Everyone agree that one way to adopting classroom is to integrate technology as a learning tool, not replacement of the effective teaching. You don't say other way around also, sir, then everything is online. Why should I come to the college? No. It is a blended learning. We want to incorporate technology in teaching so that you will become well versed with the technology. We are not taken away which is close to your heart. If I ask somebody else, please give your phone to me, right? They never give, they're ready to give their kidneys or liver or anything else. They never give their mobile phone to anybody else. So that is level of acceptance. That is a level of, the passion has become to carry the mobile phone or any electronic gadgets. Only thing as a teacher, we want to incorporate your gadgets, your technology as a learning tool to make it more effective learning, but not replacement of the effective teachings. There are many established emerging instructional technology that can be used effective. Of course, PowerPoint is very old nowadays, and we use the course management system, student response systems, because the clickers, podcasting, online learning, and so on, so things. We want to slowly bring all those things into your training curriculum so that we are going to meet out the millennials' expectations. We are going to face the challenge of millennials because we are not millennials. But always we understand teachers are lifelong learners. We are all geared up, we are all trained, we are all used to that, and we are going to adopt the changes what millions are expecting through this platform, what we call as millennial choices. Nowadays, many millions are working in the groups in the schools. And one of the example could be collaborative learning exercise aimed at millennials in creation of groups like class wikis or WhatsApp or anything else. I'm sure my principal has reached through a WhatsApp group only. Right? This group, what happens is if I want to give some assignments, if I give individually, the turnover rate may be very, very less. Instead of if I give in the groups, I can get a lot of extra responses to those things. How can we use this WhatsApp group for learning purposes? How can you use the Facebook page for training my students? How can I use the YouTube channels to train my students? These are all the components which comes under the flipped classroom, where all of us, students, as well as the teachers, we should combine together, collaborate each other to use this technology for a good thing rather than the misusing of this technologies and all those things. So definitely it helps in collaborative course assignments, collaborative teaching, learning, and all those things. As I said, this is my survey I did in the month of June or something else. I did my survey when we started taking all the online classes and all those things for my own students. I run a small surveys. I try to understand, is it really good or bad, right? If you see this, that the total students who all are participated and all those things, there are around 200 and odd students participated in this surveys. And if you see this, the yellow, I don't know whether annotation is available. Okay, anyway, I think they are disabled that annotation. Here, because more than when I say that 1 to 5 ratings and the NA is not available, 5 is the least, 1 is the highest. If you say every student felt that it was convenient to go online classes, they were having interaction on practice, they have participation interactions, more than 150 students felt that, and they give more than 3 as a ranking. Individual learning needs were much more higher, and learning paces are also appreciated. If you look this orange color, where they say that highly appreciable is a rating for this, the number 3. Then again, we asked some certain questions, around 628 responses were there, right? What will you prefer? That was my question asked for all 600 and odd students of my college. Then they asked that around 53% people felt that combination of online and offline classes. Precisely, this is what we want to make it, like a blended learning, right? Blended learning, flipped classrooms, right? So this is what we want to practice, and we have started practicing and having online classes as well as offline classes, where and I'll tell you how can you use this online and offline classes. Of course, only 13% student felt that only fully online, and online assignments for better understanding, reading material online, and course online. These were the questions they responded, saying that more than 53% felt that they wanted to have the combination of online as well as offline. Unfortunately, now we can't have anything offline classes. But when everything gets back to the normal, yes, offline will be taken, but online continues in the futures. Okay, so this is the what I got a responses. The next response that, do you prefer in future? 625 students responded saying that 63% again felt that a combination of online and physical classroom they prefer, and remaining, okay, they said that only physical classrooms were saying, around 29 people said, ठीक है sir, हम आके बैठेंगे 9 बजे से 12 बजे तक, we'll sit in the room, we are happy. Only 29% felt that, but 63% felt they wanted to have the mobility. Right? They don't wanted to bind it to one classroom, one desk, or anything else. They wanted to have the free things where they can sit in the room or wherever they want and take up the classrooms and all those things. 63% felt that they wanted to have the combination of online. It's quite interesting, right? And we made it a strong point in our university saying that fine, anyway, it is going to continue, but only online is not helping, but how to incorporate knowledge of online into physical classroom and convert into the philosophy of flipped classroom. That's what we want to bring it. And the students should understand and appreciate the philosophy of flipped classroom, right? So this is something a smart classroom looks like. Don't worry, this is a picture from Google. This is a future dream, how it looks. Don't again start imagining saying that, "Arey yaar, Bangalore jane ke baad aisa ho jayega." No. This is only a free source thing. This is what it looks like in future. The smart classroom looks like. But what is the ground pedagogy of principal effective learning? Here the things are simple. We should have to engage interest, encode important information, elaborate meaning of the newly learned material, and evaluating progress. These are 4 components will be there for effective learning. Either we do it online, or you do offline, or you do blended learning, or whatever things are there. Obviously, why we teach? To engage your interest, encode the important information, elaborate meaning of newly learned material, and evaluate the progress when you go for first year, second year, third year, and so on and so forth, or first semester, whatever things are there. So how to engage the interest with using the online classes? How to engage the interest in the online classes? How can you get interest in the online classes? They expect information to be presented in a digestible morsels or no lengthy expositions, right? We do it. We can offer more effective grab this attention by using the engaging but with a brief lecture starters such as personal vignettes, demonstrations, puzzles, short movies, and video clips. All those things we can do by using online classes, right? And it is easy for the students to have his own comfort zone to sit and listen, sit and enjoy the classes rather than putting them into the one classroom, putting all 60 students into one thing, looking at blindly with the blackboard or the whiteboard or the screen or anything else. So we can do with this. This is an advantage of having the online classes. The next, as I said, that give the limited attention span of the many students is we can apply the rule of 10. So what is the rule of 10? As I said earlier, my class was 1 hour minimum. I know that when you say minimum for a professor, nobody can stop to less than 60 minutes, but things have changed. In what they call it is that we can apply the rule of 10 by changing what we do in every class of 10 minutes, probably 20 or 15 minutes. What we can do is, or what you can do is, we can switch on from the lecture to discussion, discussion to video clip to demonstration, back and again during the classes, thereby how we can engage the interest in the student. That's how we should do it. You should not get distracted by the classes, even you are in the bedroom or whatever things are there, but you should have to focus on your learning when you take up the online classes. Encoding important information. Obviously, all my experienced teachers are there in the colleges. They start sharing that knowledge acquisition require more time and effort for casual reading, mere skimming. But here we are going to make it more and more time for encoding important informations. When you start taking classes, we try to focus which is good, which is bad, which is going to be more and more effective for you. And all these online classes should be elaborate meaning, evaluating progress should be there. So reaching and teaching millennial students, challenge you to adopt our methods to learn needs to the students, today's students. And interacting more with the students and lecturing less, we can create a more and more dynamic lectures environment to help our students become more and more effective learners. Right? I'll classify between what you understand by interacting more and less lecturing, interactive more and less lecturing. Right. So that is what exactly can be done to reach success, and we must be able to move outside our comfort zone. Flipped classroom is not a fixed, but one or many methods that are used to encourage an active learning environment. That's what we want to bring them into the students when we want to have the blended learning online as well as the offline. Then the question comes there, sir, what do you mean by flipped classroom? I attended so many online classes are there and all those things. But what do you mean by the flipped classroom? I'll explain in the next 4 or 5 slides what exactly you mean your flipped classrooms. Right? The flipped classrooms, Dr. Raman, can you enable me the annotations? Is that okay?
Sir, annotations we have disabled because sometimes they write on the slides.
Okay, no problem. Can you see my cursor at least?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Here, what happens is, if I just go back how to flip a classroom, here, what we want to bring it in the time of COVID-19 crisis, because of the millennials, what you are handling online, for all those things, we don't want to become a sage on the stage, but we want to guide them into breaking them into smaller groups. We want to have more and more tutorials. We want to have more and more mentoring, practicals, and all those things. But having said that, friends, students, whatever things I can call you, you have got more and more responsibilities. Right? Means what? You should have to learn on your own phase, come back to the college to gain that experience, what you heard, what you learned, what you are seeing. Right? I'll skip this slide. Right? Then what exactly means the flip? It is typically given to as a homework is done in the class and what is with the assistant of a teacher. It is now it is other way around. What we do, we teach in the class and ask something to do the homework. The other way to do it, we teach them in the home, sit, listen to my class, whatever the way you want. You can take my recordings, you can take my videos, YouTube, whatever it is. You read in a home, come back to the colleges where I can give the homework for you to demonstrate, to perform, to assess all those things. That exactly means a flipped classroom. So what happens is by doing these things, it is typically presented in the class. Lectures, content, background knowledge, or real life experiences by a live teacher. Students receive at the home via podcast, YouTube, or anything else, or any other online sources. This is precisely what we'll be going to do for next couple of months. You will receive a lot of online classes. But once you come back to the campus, right, then we are going to have the offlines. But flipped classroom is not just online videos. It is not replacing teachers with videos. It is not an online class only. Students working without a structure, students working in isolation, students spending the entire class online. It's not like that is a flipped classroom. That's what we want to make clearly. The parents and the students, the flipped classroom, we are adopting it across the universities. It is not only the online classes. Subsequently, we want to bring what they were learned online into the practice and into the more and more practical knowledges. Whereas flipped classroom is nothing but it means to increase the teacher's contact time. Not only 45 minutes, not only 50 minutes, not only 1 hour. We want to reduce the lecture classes and increase the practical hours. We want to reduce the lecture classes and we want to increase the tutorial times. We want to reduce the lecture timings and we want to increase the mentorship program timings. So having this, we should have to engage all those things, having the adopt of the blended learning, online as well as offline. And environment in the increase the student responsibilities. Blend the direct instruction and constructivist learnings. And class where all students are engaged, and class where absent students won't fall behind, and a class where all students are engaged in their learning. This is the beauty of this flipped classroom, and we are going to adopt, and I'm sure all my colleagues in Bangalore Pharmacy College have undergone this lecture. They heard my lecture earlier also, and they're all trained and knowledgeable, and they're very worthy teachers are there. They should be able to adopt this flipped classroom for a benefit of the students as well as for those things. How does it does? This is a standard modules are there where it goes from the right side. If you see my cursor here, we start engaging students with games, simulation, interactives, experiments, community projects, activities, and all. These all they get the experiential learning. We keep them experiential engagement. Then get to the concept exploration through video lectures, audio lectures, content-rich websites, and online chats. Then we're going to make into the meaning making application of all those things by audiovisual reflections, reflective writings, reflective classes, reflective understandings, and blogging. Then when you come for the classes, we are going to demonstrate and application. This is a cycle. What we want to do is we want to bring what, so what, know what, but we are going to get them into the experience. And this is this is the major ball game what we want to bring into by adopting flipped classroom as a training module in our students of all pharmacy graduates, is converting that concept exploration from lecture classes into experiential engagement. By doing this, what happens is we speak the language of students. Students are not deprived with the WhatsApp, Googling, Facebook. They're not deprived with the rider, with the asterisk. Help the busy students. I don't know how to define what you mean by the busy students, right? The student may be busy with multitasking and all those things. But yes, it helps for struggling students. All 70 students may not be so well versed. I'm going with certain the pace, right? Some may come from the rural area, some may come, they may not be able to follow my lectures for in one given span of time. This type of thing will help them. When I give this recording to them, they can, you can see this next point, they can, the students are pause and rewind my lectures. They can pause and rewind me saying that what I've spoken, he can go back, listen, understand, make his own notes at his own pace. There is a beauty of flipped classroom. He helps the students in abilities to excel, increase student-teacher interaction, allow teachers to know the students better, educate not only students but parents and other siblings. Also, we can do it, and that is the beauty of flipped classroom, and that is how we can take the advantage of flipping the class from having the, particularly with using that blending with the technology. Why you should not change? If because thinking is a cutting edge, because it is easier, because everyone is doing, because it exempts us from being a good teacher. We can answer any one of those things, but certainly, as at the end of the day, whether you're a student or including my own fraternities, is we should have to switch on and take the best advantage of millennial qualities or core values so that they become the good learners or anything else. There is the triangle, what we use it, or a prism, or the this what we use it. If I go through this, traditionally what we do in the classes, we ask them to remember, we ask them to understand, we ask them to apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. And what happens is, as you go up, we ask them to do creating everything in the home, or we ask them to evaluate in the home or analyze in the home. But in the flipped classroom, it is other way around. In the flipped classroom, it is other way around. In the home, they should have to remember. In the home, they should understand. They should apply and analyze. And in the classroom, they're just going to create. They're going to evaluate and do all those things. This is exactly what we're going to flip class. We are going to do what you're going to do in home, we are expected to do in the college. And what are we doing in the college, you're going to do in the home. This is exactly called as the Bloom's flipped learning technology, or as a blended learning. Fine. This is for my teachers. Teachers need not worry that classroom will not look like this. I'm sure all teachers are eager on the toes to come and see our face, listen to us, and be more and more active in the classes. Yes, provided if they have more and more interactive sessions, more and more give time to them. This will be not a scenario where nobody will be in the class or anything. Yes, it can't happen in the upcoming days, but it will be having the lot small group teaching, that is group engagement, and all those things will be the part of this flipped classroom system. Quickly, I'll try to summarize. What students are supposed to do it when you start listening to the online classes starting from Monday or anything else. When you start listening and all those things, the two things, we have got a couple of things. You can make a note of all those things, how to make the best use of these online classes before you come physically to the university or to the college or anything else. First, you should have to receive it properly, and you should have to explore them properly. One by one. In the classes, once you come back to the campuses, probably we are going to have more and more debates, more and more practice orientation, more and more experimenting, and more imitating. Means conducting the seminar, conducting the workshop, conducting the debates, conducting the assignments, all those things we are going to do in the classrooms when you come back. Because we'll be doing sufficient in the classes, in the online classes, but beyond the classrooms, when you come to the classes, you are supposed to get ready for all those things. By other way, we can say that we'll be making more and more practicals, more and more experimentations, and more imitating. Means you are going to come and practice it, and you are going to be mentored. All those things we are going to do during the classrooms. And we are going to have the majority of during the classrooms, we are going to give the opportunity for creative. So learners can create something new, producing work and the individuals or as a group, and this becomes the more and more meaningful. And we are going to put in the meta learning or self-reflections, where the learners thinks about their own learning. What you learned in the previous days, you should come and understand in front of a mentor, in the teacher, in the tutor, whatever things are there, is to have the self-reflecting. What I learned, can I be practiced? What I learned, can I apply? So all this concept will be brought into this, when you call it as a combination of the flipped classroom, the online classrooms, online teaching, as well as the offline teaching. That becomes the meaning of these flipped classrooms, what all you are going to do in the during the classes. Already I said, what are the sources can come to your disseminations? YouTube, Right. I'm sure everybody loves to visit the YouTubes. Something many of the students may not be knowing that we call as a micro degrees. In these times, I don't know how many of you are aware of Khan Academy, upgrade. Now we're getting a lot of advertisements, upgrades are there. Unacademy, I think all the people are watching that T20 nowadays playing in Dubai. You'll get a lot of advertising that, Unacademy, right? Upgrade. What does it all those means? All those things are been improvising your knowledge by undergoing the micro degrees, listening to the TED Talks, journals, future learnings. So all, and of course, podcastings, video recording, books, journals, case studies, website. So all those things will be the receiving material for you. I'm not denying now. Earlier, I used to put in my university said students are not allowed the mobile phones. I should have to revisit. We are not telling we don't use the mobile phones, but you are supposed to use for the good things, not for chatting, not for misusing, not for something else. Right? So all those things can become a learning resources for you as an online students and this millennial students coming for starting to carve your fulfilling the dreams of your parents, yourself to become a prospective pharmacist of our country. A lot of obstacles will be there, I'm sure, with our experiences and all those dynamic principle of Dr. Raman Dang sir and all those things, we can easily overcome for to start and to have the success into those things. Of course, we had some challenges. We had saying that what are the challenges faced during online classes? Slow internet, sound quality, and all those things were there. I'm sure nowadays they overcome all these problems is because March till now is not a small time. We are all geared up for all those things, try to understand, try to get all those things. But this should not be the challenges of all those things to be faced during the online classes. But only thing, yes, we should have to learn certain etiquettes when you try to attend for a online classes. You have got a lot of memes for online classes and a lot of jokes are there. The jokes are apart. I've seen a lot of, they just switch on this online classes and go on playing video games or something else. But these are not the criteria. Students are serious. We are serious. Whole environment is serious so that it becomes a more and more advantage of online classes. Right? We have a lot of opportunities. You should take the best use of the opportunities. And I'd like to tell you some of the things. India is the second largest internet market in the world. Top 10 countries is by using the internet usages. Can you imagine we are the top 10, even comparing to the developed countries like USA and Mexico or Germany or anything else. But you see the European countries and sub-Saharan countries. And in 52% of urban areas and 37% rural areas having got the internet penetration because of the digital India, global India, and so many things are there. Getting access to that, technology is not a major challenge for us, and we should take the advantage of technology rather than the misusing of the technology for as per the students are concerned, as per teaching learning is concerned. That's the same thing with the forecast or anything else, what you can call by 2020, end of this 2020, we can around 603 million, or that 40% India will go online. We'll put up more and more devices, and the broadband speed is from 5.1 Mbps to is going to up to 12.9 Mbps, and on the campus, I believe it is more and more speed will be there, and that can become more handy for us to more and more practice online classes and adopt this flipped classroom concept. Of course, this is for the tips to my teachers and the students also. We'll start with a small, we are informing the student that what precisely we are doing today. We are informing you, we are giving home learning, ensure to incorporate the activity following the reading, plan out your class timings and optimize the learning environment, home learning to build the extended learning futures, this will be tips, and this will make us online not become a boring, it becomes a part of our life, it becomes a normal in futures, and that's how we can bridge the gap to using the coining the word or by using that thing what we call as a flipping the classroom and all those things. I give my two evidences or one experiences. When I did the survey, 63% students felt that yes, online is good, and but they needed some offline. But friends, I did one more experiments or one more exercises. I know you're too young to listen all those things. Right, a lot of conferences and workshops are there. what I did, we conducted, of course, this was the first Farm Day Colloquium, and in 2019 we did two. In end of 2019 we did it. Here our experience was totally different, saying that, you know, all of us, there were no didactic lectures. Everything was experiential. Believe me, all students, of course, this is another thing, all students were engaged, were involved, they enjoyed those things. The moral of my story is that we should have to encourage more and more interactive sessions rather than having the didactic lectures. I think with this, I would like to conclude my talk as a flipped classroom, how to take the advantage of online classes, how we should have to cope up with the requirement and technologies, and you should have to prove this. Yes, you are a millennial generation, and you should have to meet out your expectation of the teacher, your parents, whomever your loved ones, and you should become a upcoming or a budding pharmacist, or you will become a good asset for the entire country as a pharmacist. I thank all my organizers, and particular thanks to my principal, Dr. Ramandang sir, and his colleagues for giving me an opportunity. I was having my own reservation. Why should I talk on flipped classroom? At the end of my talk, I'm realizing I did a good job. You did a good job for asking me to talk, so that teachers and students are on the same platform when they start taking the online classes. And when they come back here, what are we going to supposed to do it? And that serves the best purposes, I believe. Thank you, Raman sir. And I think the students can ask the questions, or teachers can also, if they have been logged in. It is open for discussion. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative talk. Very meaningful and enlightening. As you rightly said, this trend is going to stay of an online mixture. Even the council goes with your view. When we had a talk with our Dr. B. Suresh, president of the Pharmacy Council, he was also of the same opinion what you said. 20 or 30% of the classes need to be conducted online. Students and teachers need to be given a room for creativity, for more thoughtfulness, for more relaxed atmosphere at home or elsewhere. And that way, better connect will be there, better outcome will be there. Otherwise, all outcomes are measured based on curriculum, examination. So let's see, this pandemic has given a good opportunity. We are really fortunate, sir, you came on our forum. So children, if you have any questions, please ask, sir. He'll be more than willing to answer. You can unmute yourself one by one and ask. Any questions, children?
Okay, we have got other way around. Right, sir, other way around. Right. Tejaswini, can you unmute, and did you understand what I spoke? Because that is the beauty of a teacher. I can't give only one way. I want to hear something from you. Tejaswini, you can unmute yourself. At least, did you understand what I spoke? Trisha? Hope you are not sleeping over there in front of the screen.
Hope they are online, first of all. As you rightly said, games or PUBG and all, they'll be on too. But I don't think so my children will do that.
Yeah, Kushal Reddy, are you over there? At least you say yes, sir, or no, sir.
Yes, sir. All there.
Yeah, I appreciate. Right? Bharat GR, you can unmute yourself.
Kusum Singh.
I think Prashant want to say something. Yes, Prashant.
Yeah, sir. I understand what you told. I want a clarification about that. You are saying that online classes are better than offline classes, right? But in normal classes, we can be more attentive than the online classes, right, sir?
Yeah, it's a good question. I appreciate, Mr. Prashant, what you asked the question. Yeah, right. I know conventionally what is happening, what we want to bring in now for next, at least for 15 days, 1 month, or nearly a little more than 1 month, you're listening lots of online classes. Right.
Yes,
but how we want to bring that into the means what? When you come back here, we are not going to conduct any more online classes or anything. Yes, we want to engage you more and more into the practicals, more and more interactions, rather than going for a didactic lectures or anything. Yes, We want to give a room for a student. We want to give to the room for a student to have creative thinking, implication, application, all those things we want to bring it. And when you say it's not 100%, it is a part of our curriculum development. It is a part of our exercise. We do it. Don't think that everything will be online. Never that we meant it. We want to say that this is one of the teaching module what we want to apply or implement it to make the best use of this technology and all those things. Hope I answered your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the
Yeah.
information.
Bhumika wanted to say something. I think she unmuted and again muted herself.
बाय सी यू सुबह मिलते हैं
नहीं यार सुबह नहीं आज ही मिलेंगे ना. Okay. Anyway.
Abhishek Pandey, Dheeraj Suresh.
Yes, sir. The flipped
Yes, sir.
classroom is an
Yes, sir.
innovative concept. I really liked it.
Is it Dheeraj is speaking?
Yes, sir. I'm Dheeraj.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Right, right. Okay, any specific questions you want to ask me, feel free to ask me so that I can answer the questions. Otherwise, it's over to Dr. Amandang, sir.
Panchami, you have something to ask? You've unmuted, or we'll conclude.
Sir, I
Vinay?
just wanted to tell that the concept of flipped classroom model was very good, and the video lecturers is very easy for us to rewind, something like that. It is really good. That is what I all wanted to tell, sir.
Okay, thank you, Panchami. It is really good. There's a homework for all the students. What you can do is, I'm sure this recording will be available on our college website. You can unwind and rewind and see my own topic. Then you'll appreciate that what do you mean by the flipped classroom and all those things. What example I given, what has been there, just as an exercise you do it, then only you'll appreciate that beauty of this flipped classroom. At your ease, you may do it midnight, you can do early morning, whenever you feel bored, you can see my face on the screen and you can say that, okay, chalo, theek hai kya Ganachari sir ne bola hai, that you can do it unless you get bored with my face or anything else. Okay?
Thank
So in
you,
the
sir.
flipped classroom, the concept.
Yeah, Dheeraj. Go ahead, go ahead. Dheeraj Suresh, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. In the flipped classroom, in the innovative idea where there is more interaction. When there is more interaction, I'll be true to myself. If it's a monotonous class, we tend to feel sleepy, especially in the afternoon. When you're talking or interacting, you'll be highly alert compared to in a monotonous physical class. If you know what I meant, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate precisely that Dheeraj and I think he has understood what we want to mean it. But I'm putting a rider also, a disclaimer also. No, it's not for entire course, but some of the course, yes, we want to do these things. As Dr. Dheeraj has understood properly, we want to give more and more time to the mentoring, for tutoring, to interacting, so that what happens is, and pharmacy is a very interesting subject. Instead of giving all didactic lectures, when you come back to the classes, we can demonstrate, we can take to the practice areas, we can show you, and we can do a lot of things so that your concept will be very clear, your understanding will be very clear. There's a whole idea about bringing a small component of this flipped classroom in the mid of this pandemic or anything else. Yeah, thank you. You understood properly, and I congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
I appreciate the idea of an online class, but my problem is, as I've done some online classes, is to be in the comfort of your own home. You're not on your tiptoes like you are in a classroom when a teacher is looking at you. As you can see now, nobody wants to switch on their camera or unmute themselves to ask you a doubt. But how do you think we should overcome and be on our tiptoes? Like we can see that there's so many online classes going to happen. How do we bring ourselves to be on our tiptoes like we are when we are having physical classes?
Wow, it is $1 million question. I appreciate Saira. See, what happens is, that is the qualities of millennial students. You got it. If you got younger siblings in your home and all those things, you can see the difference between your patience level and the younger generation levels is. And exactly what we mean, that comfort zone in the means what we want to inculcate. Because your parents are telling you should not read and learn, because I am telling you should not read, you should have to imbibe yourself. Yes, I want to be one of the best pharmacists. How it comes when you start developing the sense of responsibilities amongst yourself. Right. We want to switch on from the being on the toes with having the something, a whip in my hand. You don't want to do it. Right. Equally, what happens is, for example, I'm sitting in my own office with my own comfort. I can deliver in the better way rather than coming the class, sitting in for 45 minutes. And it's a small experiments what we are doing it. It's acceptable globally. It's accepted worldwide. We want to give the responsibilities to the commitment to the students is saying that, look, after 5 hours, it's not only gaming or moving around anything else. Friends, you are the students. You are a prospective students. And you paid the huge money. You should have to make the best use of that, because if you are not able to demonstrate after learning 4 years or 6 years, then what's for art? So that is what we want to do it. Appreciate your concern. You should have to develop your own sense of commitment and responsibilities. When I say video lecturing, as I said, nobody want to switch on the cameras. Fine. Doesn't matter for us. The matter is that what I've told should have to be, suppose if this would have a flipped classroom, today I've taken the class, tomorrow come back to my laboratories or my classes, I'll start telling that what I taught, I'm going to experiment you. I want to interact with every individual. That becomes more and more meaningful lectures rather than taking only online or the offline classes. I agree with you, but you should have to change our mindset slowly, saying that in the mid of pandemic and such a huge population and all those things, this becomes more and more meaningful. When you listen, okay, have your own comfort zone and listen it, but you want to implement it, yes, you'll be on the toes because we want to ask you to demonstrate. Teachers will be there and all those things will be there. I hope I answered your question, Saira.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Anybody else? I don't mind spending any time answering the question rather than lecturing.
So do you have any idea when the offline classes might start vaguely?
No idea, dear, because still we don't know. We are crossing our fingers. Every day we are listening yes, no, and so on and so forth. Hopefully, at the earliest we want to show, because we are a higher order universities are there. Ours is higher order universities. We are waiting for some green signal from certain regulators and all those things. Postgraduates already we welcome. We already they're coming to the classes and all those things. Just because of the safety of the students, we are waiting, and hopefully by I don't know exactly date and time, but at the earliest, yes, we want to start offline classes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
So, yeah, Ganachari sir, we will conclude the session now. Thank you once again for your time and valued inputs. Totally agree with the concept that offline is offline. Yes, that contact, that personal contact makes things more real, more understanding. Yes, offline to some percentage may be fine, or for time being, sitting and watching the movie in theater and then at home, there is a difference. So there is a discipline, there is a connect. At home, 10 times we go here, there, and there is a connect lost. So obviously, we totally agree with you. Thank you, sir. My children are blessed. And once again, salute to your leadership.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, children. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.